Welcome to Bracket 2 Gamer. If you, like a lot of Magic players, skipped a lot of Marvel, I've got 5 unique deck ideas to bring to your next Commander Night. Up first we got Dragon Man Reform Robot. Right now this guy only has 12 decks on EDHREC, which is just criminal. Dragon Man Reform Robot is a 2 generic, a white and a blue commander. He's a legendary artifact creature dragon robot. He has flying, and his power is equal to the greatest mana value among non-creature permanents you control and non-creature cards in your graveyard. So the easiest way to get his power really high is just dump a really high mana value card in your graveyard, as long as it's not a creature. And also, you may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs, which is just an amazing recursive ability, and you never really have to send him to the command zone if you don't want. You can just cast him again from your graveyard. So these first group of cards are pretty funny. If your group allows silver bordered, I'd definitely throw these in. Gleemax will make Dragon Man 1 million power, so that's funny. You can also do who, what, when, where, and why, and make your opponents count to 13. Or just throw in a Mox Lotus and add infinite mana if you ever get to 15 somehow. But if you want to skip the silver border, there's plenty of really good, just generic, high mana value options that you can just throw in your deck. And Dragon Man's just a nice flyer. He's only 4 mana. You can also cast him from your graveyard, so you don't have to worry too much about protecting him. He's just a great beater that's really resilient, and you don't have to build too much around him, so he's got a lot of open-ended building potential there. Okay, if you are a Serpent Society gamer, everyone saw that ward and thought it was funny, but then they realized that you can't really make your opponent target it, so it just kind of turns into a Death Touch aristocrat deck that makes your opponent sack all their stuff. But don't give up on your dreams, because if you throw in one of these Mindslaver effects, Emrakul, Worst Fears Mindslaver, maybe tour it up if you're so inclined, you can, take control of your opponent and force them to target twice and just instantly kill them, which is not the best plan, but I think it's very funny. Okay, up next we have Prowler. Prowler Clawed Thief is a generic, a blue and a black. It's a legendary human rogue villain. It's got menace, and whenever another villain you control enters, Prowler connives. And he is like a villain connive tribal deck, theoretically. But if I were to build him, I would go with one of my favorite strategies, which is these Maskwood Nexus effects. And these can turn all of your creatures into villains, so that whenever any creature enters, Prowler is going to connive. So this instantly breaks Crypt Caller Chariot. This is just an infinite because you're going to draw and discard, and then when you discard, you're going to make a zombie who's also a villain, and Prowler's going to connive, and you'll just do that infinitely. Bone Miser is similar, but it only works when you discard a creature. But the other 2 modes are just great value, so you're always going to be getting tons of value, chaining off, drawing and discarding tons, making tons of tokens, and there's just other great value that you can go with that. Like, these are some good token makers that don't just quite go off as hard, but they'll give you great value. There's plenty of ways to pay 1 mana to create a token whenever you do this process, either off the 1/1 counter or the discard. There's a lot of effects like this. So if you want to throw in a sack outlet, that would also go infinite. But even if you're not trying to go infinite, you can just have tons of value, draw tons of cards, discard cards, fill up your graveyard. And there's plenty of new Marvel cards you can throw in there that support villains and conniving. And Mr. Fantastic will also draw you tons of cards. So that's a great option. I think this is my favorite of the deck ideas and probably what I would lean to if I was looking to build something. Okay, up next we have the Whizzer. So what do Port Raiser, Professional, Facebreaker, and Poo Poo UFO have in common? And they start with P. And that's kind of all I have to say about that. So if you really want to build a really dumb bracket 1 deck, you can throw in all the cards that start with P. Okay, well, anyway. Up next, we got Black Bull Inhuman King. Black Bull Inhuman King is 2 generic, a white and a blue. It's a legendary Inhuman noble hero. It's got flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, he gets +2/+2 until end of turn. And also, whenever Black Bolt becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, destroy target non-land permanent that player controls, which is a great defensive ability. It's basically a ward, and it's a 3/3. So I thought the best way to build this would be Enchantress. There's plenty of options to draw lots of cards whenever you cast enchantments and auras, so your deck won't just get blown out if your commander gets removed. And enchantments are also great at chaining off with a lot of little auras and stuff. And 2 really strong auras I have here: Combat Research, just lets you draw cards and gives you ward 1 in addition to that other pseudo ward. So your opponents are gonna extra feel the pain if they try to target him. All That Glitters is also just the best aura. It just does so much damage. It'll make him just one-shot your opponents in the air. But there's so many options, many precons, and these colors have been made for auras, so there's just so many options and great budget options. So this is going to be a really good, consistent deck, and I think pretty fun to play. It's kind of like a Storm deck, but it's got lots of card draw, and it's in blue-white. It looks pretty fun. Alright, thanks for checking out these deck ideas. If you have any other ideas or any hidden gems from Marvel, let me know in the comments, and maybe look down there and you'll see other cool ideas from Marvel. I know Marvel is kind of a controversial set, but I think it's kind of fun when we have 250 commanders. Even though it's overwhelming, it's kind of fun to just look at some of the less popular options and just pick something that resonates with you. Even if the flavor isn't the best, at least a lot of unique commander decks that maybe other people haven't seen will come out of it. So if you want to build something unique for your playgroup that they've never seen before, I think this is a great opportunity. And if you're looking for brackets 1 through 3 commander decks, silly deck ideas, just stuff to get you inspired to get back into Moxfield or whatever you build in. And I'll try to make videos for all the upcoming sets if I can, with just a few ideas that I have. I have so many ideas of unique ways to build commander decks that I've written down, so I'd be happy to share more of my ideas for each upcoming set. But thanks for watching, and have a good one.